Hello, good afternoon. We will start with breaking news. The International Monetary Fund has downgraded Britain's economic prospects more than any G7 country in its latest update on the state of the global economy. It's a fresh blow for Chancellor Rachel Reeves, with the financial institution slashing the UK's growth forecast from 1.3% to 0.8%. It also follows a similar downgrade from the OECD. Just last month, the IMF says the UK is also set to see higher inflation in the months ahead, with price rises set to average at 3.2% across 20.
Their spirits were sunken and low. Their bags weighed more than a ton. There was neither sign nor show when the bull began his run. The shields were shilling wall to wall. The gig was up, they had their fun, and every short got a margin call when the bull began his run. The candle's green came fast and tall. Each wick was bold, quick to stun. His eyes burned red and his horns did moan when the bull began his run. Now fortune smiles upon the need. His bags of gold gleam in the sun. The outer stream of his balance sheet, and every pair is left with none. Since the bull began his run.
So please get involved in the Discord if you're not already involved. Links in the video description. I do post real-time updates for you in there. For example, a nice little trade on Bitcoin's playing out. You know, I'm looking at this falling wedge, third point of contact. You've got a five-way move up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off this low. You know, and moving the stops up as well, which will relate to the CoinsKid crew. ABC zigzag coming back down into resistance, high-low breakout. Targets were this red line, around about 71,659, and then 75k, which is what we've tagged yesterday. And we're seeing a rejection at that, which is completely normal, okay? So we've come up. A lot of people would have gone short, okay, and had the stops at that high. So we've come up and we've actually stopped all them stops out, which is normal. And then right now we're having a little pullback as anticipated at that leg of resistance. So, you know, going forward, this is what I'm anticipating for Bitcoin. If we can see the rejection on the tether dominance at the 1.618, creating a bearish divergence, I think we've got a massive move for Bitcoin against all odds and expectations. And again, if you take a look, I've relayed this to the CoinsKid crew. Off this low, we come up and we snag that white line, which is your God candle back test. The next God candle back test sits at 85,977. So basically, you've come up at a 1 into a pullback 2. You're having a 1 into a pullback 2. So you've got some kind of 1, 2, 1, 2 set up. If we can come up and take out that thick yellow line, that's your next key leg of resistance for me. But at that point, if you're closing above that thick yellow line, that's all it's going to take for me to get incredibly bullish on Bitcoin and really, really confident about the bottom being in. And again, please get involved in Discord because I do post real-time updates as and when I see them. For example, just again, a macro outlook. Bitcoin tends to bottom in macro corrections on the red line, which is your 55 monthly EMA. And what we've done from that red line is created a bullish inverted hammer candle. And we're seeing a nice little follow through so far on that particular point. So if we go back here, I think this was 2015, double bottom on the red line. We go to, I think it's 2018. We bottomed down here, fell under for it a little bit, but look, accumulation, broke out, back test in the Corona dump, see you later. And then again, if we look at this, we bottomed just under it, closing, found it resistance, made that sweep low, and then we broke ball. But if you take a look right now, what is Bitcoin doing? You know, you found support, slam bang on that 55 EMA. So you got this resistance above, you know, the 20 and the 10. But if you can start to close above them, okay, you're looking pretty tasty right there for Bitcoin. And again, that's just pure macro data. So again, something that's happening, which I relate to the CoinsKid crew, is basically the BTC hash floor. You fell into it way back there in January, back tested the ceiling as resistance, dropped into the bottom, you know, back tested once more in higher low, found resistance at the ceiling once more, back testing a higher low, you're finding resistance at the ceiling again, and you're looking for that higher low. Compression leads to expansion. There's some kind of Adam and Eve bottom here as a bullish scenario for Bitcoin. And again, I've relayed this to the CoinsKid crew. These are real-time updates that I relay. So here, what we may have is some kind of truncation bottom for Bitcoin. It's absolutely possible. And right on cue, on that bottom, we printed the green buy dot on the BTC accumulation band. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC corrective structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the same resistance and the ceiling. And this is the current price action. We could be looking at some kind of Adam and Eve bottom off a truncation low for Bitcoin. And again, I've not got a crystal ball, but what I'm looking for to get incredibly bullish on Bitcoin from this point is just simple data points, okay? Closes above the thick yellow line, your trending red line, and I'm going to revisit this with you in today's video, and obviously the BTC hash floor. And obviously as well, again, these are the data points that I really, created for yourselves. If we can begin to see Bitcoin take out the BTC accumulation band, again, it's just data. It's the same data just there. You're closing above without taking the high out. You're looking tasty because you're getting above key data. So again, going forward, it's just data that we're relying on this channel, nothing else. Okay, so let's dive into the charts right now to see what we can see for Bitcoin and XRP. So looking at the index then, what we want to see over a long period of time is Bitcoin trending above the BMS. The BMS column on CoinsKid.com just there, it's telling us, okay, Bitcoin is still in a bearish trend to the downside. We're looking for confirmation from bear to bull by breaking above that BMS and holding it. Currently trading around about 77852. So if we can start to see Bitcoin get its ass back above that, close above it, multiple weeks, we're looking pretty tasty, because historically this is what we see from bear markets to bull markets for Bitcoin. Now equally on the weekly time frame, I know it's XRP video, I do apologize, I'll get to XRP in a moment. Equally on the weekly time frame, I've taught you this many times before. Get the RSI into your charts, drop a horizontal line at the floor, and what you're looking at is really simple. You see this level here where we find support and buying Bitcoin in this bull market just there. And again, for those people who are just tuning in, on this impulse breakout here, I said to you, I'm anticipating all-time highs for Bitcoin. And every time it comes into this zone, just buy. Okay, and this is what we're doing. We're buying just there in the summer of 2023. Everyone said I was crazy. But like I said to you, there was reasons and logic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we broke bull. And then we had that correction diamond bottom pattern. Again, we found support right in the baseline of the momentum on the weekly. We broke bull again, and we came back to this support. We're buying again, and when we came up and we started to print bearish divergence. So this is where I was saying to you, okay, you've got to be careful here, because if you're buying Bitcoin up here, you're doing it wrong. It's running out of steam, and from there we've got this drop. But in every drop, in every bear market, in the C wave, we always lose that medium line. You support, you break down below that in every bear market. Once we get to the oversold conditions, the clue to a raging bull market and a massive impulsive move to the upside is really simple, taking that momentum resistance out. So if you start to take that 50 zone out, you're looking pretty tasty. You're getting a confirmation, as well as getting above the thick yellow line, which is your BMS. You're looking pretty tasty for a bullish impulse against all odds and expectations. So if we drop this line in once more, you can see that was support in a bull market, support, come up, lower high, bearish divergence, where we made a higher high in the index. So, your bear market began just there. Your last level of support, you come up, you're in your C wave, which flushes through, your medium line, your momentum line support in a bull market. So you did that in a ferocious C wave, which is why I think this, this is C wave. I don't necessarily think we've got the beginning of a bear there. I actually think we began it just there. And I've relayed this to you a million times. A, B, C. So in a C wave, what you do typically look for is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. So we may have completed it just there. Absolutely possible for Bitcoin against all odds and expectations in oversold conditions. So what is the first clue, we're looking at? Obviously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the first clue, but we want to see that resistance being taken out, because in every single transition from bear to bull, you are breaking that medium line, okay? And this is what we don't quite see at the moment. Again, just there, you're breaking that medium line where you're getting your ass back above the thick yellow line, and we did it just there as well. You're breaking above the medium line, which is what you did just there to confirm the bottom. So again, we don't quite see it at the moment, but in time, when we do see it, I relay that message to you. People saying, no way, you're an idiot, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll just be relaying the data. So unfortunately, at the moment, we've got data stacking up the tails as, okay, you've entered accumulation, but we're not quite seeing that confirmation from bear to bull at the moment. And this is the data I relay to you in time when we see it. So this is why I still think that we are still in this sort of grinding process of accumulation for XRP, which is what I've been relaying to you. I think we see a pump, and this is why over the past few weeks, I have actually been micro bullish on XRP, looking for retracement into this range, at least this double top drop around about 149. This has been on the radar for me. You know, you've got this high-low structure down there, building positions, and I think we've got this sort of move that comes up into this. But at that point, we could begin to see a rejection across the charts where we do start to see another flush of the lows and a retracement right there for the likes of Bitcoin, just back testing its low, low structure. So again, we've got to be patient waiting for confirmation of the data to confirm the transition from bear to bull for Bitcoin. We don't quite see it, but I think one of the earliest clues will be breaking that medium line, the 50 level in the weekly RSI for Bitcoin. If we start to see that, I think we've got a massive move to the upside against all odds and expectations. So in the meantime, I just think we've got sort of consolidation pattern after a drop for likes of XRP, where you're making this sort of potential descending triangle, horizontal, whatever, you're just slowly grinding up. And this is why, XRP is not getting carried away with a move from Bitcoin and XRP and many altcoins, is because it is slowly just grinding up. Like I said to you, I think it's a slow grind up towards the end of April. And then we could potentially reject that double top drop and neckline, wick through, just like what we did there and just like what we did there, before we start to see another rollover and another retest where, the saying is sell in May and go away. So this is why primarily I'm still bullish for XRP and crypto and Bitcoin for the month of April. I don't think this move to the upside is quite done yet, and I keep updated as best I can. Okay, so if you're looking for regular updates, jump into the Discord, stay off, stay strong, stay tuned, take care everyone. Back to an update on XRP. Bye bye.